Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 467 based on novel. So let's start. The sound was like a wave that spread out across the God sect. It became even louder and louder until it was earth-shattering. Wang Lin looked at the cultivators before him and remained calm. After he returned, he knew that since he had obtained the inheritance of the Lord of the Sealed Realm, he would have to continue its tradition. He felt the glory of the Cloud Sea from before. He clasped his hands at everyone as he silently pondered. Esteemed Ling Dong and Zhu Jin returned to standing behind Wang Lin. Zhu Jin had a complicated expression and there was shock in his eyes. He didn't expect Wang Lin to have such a noble status in the inner realm. Lord of the Sealed Realm. Esteemed Ling Dong's thoughts were the most simple. He had been completely refined by Wang Lin, and the seal was ingrained deep within him. He calmly looked ahead. The summoned River Star Systems Zhu De greets the Lord of the Sealed Realm. The old man in black bitterly smiled as he clasped his hands at Wang Lin. The summoned River Star Systems Cloud Edge greets the Lord of the Sealed Realm. What happened earlier was a misunderstanding. I hope the Lord of the Sealed Realm won't mind. The middle-aged man smiled bitterly as he clasped his hands. This old man is Master Hong Shan. I had an agreement with the Lord of the Sealed Realm. Now that you have killed that slave and saved the Cloud Sea, you're qualified to be this generation's Lord of the Sealed Realm. However, the Outer Realm's invasion is imminent and it will be difficult to resist with our strength, but we have to fight. You have 2 third-step cultivators with you and your own strength, but it's still not enough. Since you are this generation's Lord of the Sealed Realm, are you ready to battle to the death with me and the entire inner realm? Master Hong Shan's eyes were like lightning as he looked at Wang Lin and gave off a pressure comparable to Dao Master Blue Dreams. Wang Lin pondered for a bit and then nodded. The old man from the corpse sect slowly said, "This old man is Master South Cloud. I heard from fellow cultivator Hong Shan that you went to the Outer Realm. How is the strength of the Outer Realm?" Time slowly passed, and the cultivators of the God sect gradually scattered. The Cloud Sea returned to their intense war preparations. Master Hong Shan and Master South Cloud became silent after hearing everything Wang Lin said. There was worry in their eyes. The strength of the Outer Realm was greater than what they expected. By trapping Great Desolation and 2 of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, you have contributed greatly to this war. If you hadn't, the battle against the Outer Realm would be even more difficult. Master Hong Shan sighed. This nether beast seems a little different from my memory. It has devoured the Golden Storm, so you should observe it more. That golden bell was obviously sent by the ancient celestial realm for this battle, but it was destroyed by Daoist water. Also, there are the 7 colored realms that Master Lu Fu mentioned. Since you asked, you can take care of the one in the Alliance headquarters in the brilliant Void Star system. As for the rest, we will search for them carefully and destroy them. Master South Cloud said with a heavy tone. As for Tai Aluo, half of your seal can be released. Once the war with the Outer Realm is finished, the other half can be released. Master Hong Shan's gaze fell on the barefoot man. Tai Aluo frowned. After pondering a bit, he nodded. Wang Lin clasped his hands at everyone and then looked at Mu Bingmai, who was cultivating inside the distortion. He then put away the nether beast, Ling Dong, and Zhu Jin before leaving. As he stepped forward, he didn't stop outside the God sect before he left. However, as he left, his divine sense spread out across the world. The God sect was created by the last Lord of the Sealed Realm. I'm this generation of Lord of the Sealed Realm. I order the God sect to listen to Mu Bingmai. I give Mu Bingmai the position of the God sect's sect master. The cultivators of the origin sect will merge into the God sect. As the Lord of the Sealed Realm orders, the cultivators in the God sect replied when they heard this. The dissipated fog gradually reappeared, but it wasn't as dense as before. It couldn't hide the realm ceiling formation that had appeared after the Golden Storm swept by. This formation was like a net, and it could be seen by every cultivator. Wang Lin appeared among the stars and silently walked forward. Killing Daoist water had settled a big matter in his heart. Right now he was going to go home. Looking at the direction of his hometown, Wang Lin's face gradually softened. Neither all heaven nor the cloud sea were his home. He only had one home, and that was the brilliant void star system. Senior brother Qing Shui, I didn't have the strength to save you before, but now I have come. Wang Lin stepped forward and charged toward the brilliant void star system. However, just at this moment, a shocking change occurred in the cloud sea star system. Outside the realm ceiling formation, a ray of shocking sword energy was rushing toward the star domain that was being occupied by the remaining members of the Moon Clan. Before the sword energy closed in, a thunderous rumble echoed. It was heard by all the members of the Moon Clan branches. When they raised their heads, the sword energy exploded and surrounded the area. An ancient voice echoed across the world. The Sovereign Council summons all of the Moon Clan members to gather at the eastern part of the realm ceiling formation for the first battle against the inner realm. All the cultivators in the Moon Clan were shaken. After a moment of silence, a roar echoed across the entire clan. They had waited a very long time for this day. Ancient Star System, Heavenly Soul Clan. At this moment, the same ray of sword energy arrived and that ancient voice echoed. The Sovereign Council summons the Heavenly Soul Clan to gather outside the realm ceiling formation for the first battle against the inner realm. The Sovereign Council summons the Tai Cloud Clan for the first battle against the inner realm. The Sovereign Council summons the remnants of the Fire Sparrow Clan to gather at the eastern part of the realm ceiling formation for the first battle against the inner realm. The Sovereign Council summons Demon Dragon Clan to gather at the eastern part of the realm ceiling formation for the first battle against the inner realm. More than 10 ancient star system clans obtained the summon of the Sovereign Council at the same time, and they all moved out. This old man, the Sovereign Council's Master Enlighten East, will oversee the first battle against the inner realm. This old man, esteemed Nan Jiao, will oversee the battle with Master Enlighten East. The Sovereign Council's Grandmaster Yun Luo will be the strategist of this battle. The last line echoed across the entire ancient star system and fell into the ears of every cultivator in the ancient star system. This caused the entire ancient star system to be filled with battle intent. Slaughter your way into the inner realm and kill all living things inside. Let those ants in the inner realm know the might of the ancient star system. Let those ant-like cultivators know the true might of the ancient star system. The ant-like cultivators in the inner realm are extremely cruel and are without salvation. We must use slaughter to enlighten them of the truth. Slaughter your way into the inner realm. Slaughter all the ant-like cultivators. Steal all treasures. Only winning matters. In this battle, anything you take belongs to you. Reopen the ancient star system ranking. The top 1000 can receive the fortune of the ancient celestial realm. The top 100 can become the disciples of the celestial concubines. The top 10 can each control a realm. The top 3, if they are third-step cultivators, will be given 10 rank 3 Tao spirits each. If they are not third-step cultivators, they will become disciples of the sovereign. In accordance to the ancient agreement, the rank 1 person can become a cultivation couple with the celestial princess, and will be named the celestial sovereign. These messages echoed across the ancient star system, stimulating the cruel battle intent of the ancient star system. Low roars echoed within each clan, shaking the entire ancient star system. For the scattered ancient star system that contained countless clans, the only reason to battle was to rob. Rob anything they like, rob anything they think they need, rob any female cultivators they fancy as cultivation furnaces. Rob. 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 There is a person among the ant-like cultivators of the inner realm named Wang Lin. He slaughtered the scattered Thunder clan, destroyed a branch of the Moon clan, and killed countless cultivators of the outer realm. When the ancient star system ranking opens, the must-kill list of the inner realm will also open. Whoever kills him will receive credit for killing 10,000 cultivators. Kill, 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 kill. As the roars for war echoed across the outer realm, the 13 clans summoned for the first battle gathered on the eastern side of the realm ceiling formation. There were nearly 90,000 cultivators present, and at a glance it was impossible to see any end. They all revealed cruel smiles as they stared at the formation before them. They were going to charge in the moment it opened. There was a mark between each person's eyebrows. Within this cruel killing intent, a strange aura began to appear. These 90,000 cultivators' blood began to boil and they gradually became agitated and crazy. They were like fierce beasts that had been starving for a long time and were going to devour everything. There were 4 people floating in the distance. The person in front was an old man wearing a Daoist robe. His eyes shined and the mark between his eyebrows was a black snake. Master Enlighten East. Although he wasn't one of the 5 masters, his was at the early stage of arcane void. Beside him stood a young man. This young man was very handsome, but his eyes were narrow. When he squinted, they became lines that gave off a cold glint. There was a layer of mist around his body, making him look strange. The mark between his eyebrows was a rotating black mist. Esteemed Nan Jiao. Although his cultivation level wasn't as high as Great Desolations, only early-stage spirit void, his poison was as famous as Great Desolations. Beside the 2 of them was the gloomy ancestor of the Fire Sparrow clan. He stared at the formation before him, revealing crazed killing intent. Before the 3 of them was a woman wearing cloud silk. Her head was lowered. It was Grandmaster Yun Luo. Her hands were quickly moving as if she was divinating something, and there was a flash of worry in her eyes. I have to thank Grandmaster Yun Luo for figuring out that the 3rd step cultivators of the inner realm have found out about the 7 colored realms the sovereign set up. However, how could the ants of the inner realm have figured out the real plan the sovereign had set? Master Enlighten East smiled. Grandmaster Yun Luo raised her beautiful hand and slowly said, "The purpose of this battle is not to kill but to set down that transfer array, keep that in mind. In addition to that, Wang Lin must be killed as soon as possible, he can't be allowed to survive." Master Enlighten East smiled, but he dismissed this idea in his heart. He looked at the 90,000 cultivator army and felt the fierce and crazed killing intent. He couldn't help but reveal a cruel expression. No need for mercy. These wolves' killing intent is already monstrous, how can I not let them kill? As for that little cultivator, Wang Lin, at most he is only at the Heaven's Blight stage. He has only gotten a bit lucky to achieve what he did. Killing him will be too easy, there's no need to make a fuss. This first battle's primary purpose is to kill and steal. The second is to place the transfer array. The final matter is to kill that little cultivator Wang Lin on the way. Just as Master Enlighten East thought of this, he suddenly looked into the distance. At the same time, Master Nan Jiao, the Fire Sparrow clan ancestor, and Grandmaster Yun Luo all looked into the distance. A powerful pressure spread out from the rumbling sound and completely suppressed the raging roars of these 90,000 cultivators. This sound was overwhelming, and it soon attracted the gazes of all 90,000 cultivators. A giant, black palace suddenly appeared. It was too big, the size of a cultivation planet. It was surrounded by endless fog, making it blurry. One could only vaguely see thousands of cultivators in black floating around the palace. They all had the same mark between their brows, a black sword. Every cultivator in black gave off an extremely cold aura. They had indifferent expressions as they floated forward outside the black palace. A howl of killing intent shrouded the star domain. It's the Sword Clan. The guards of the Sovereign Council's Heaven Punishment Palace are the Sword Clan. Rumor has it that every cultivator of the Sword Clan has terrifying power. They also cultivate the soul-piercing strike, which has amazing power. The Sword Clan has appeared. This must be the Sovereign Council's Heaven Punishment Palace. I didn't expect the Sovereign to move one of the 4 palaces for the first battle. The large, black palace slowly closed in and the pressure from it slowly spread out. The 90,000 cultivators all bowed toward the palace. We all greet the Heaven Punishment Palace. The 90,000 cultivators' voices were like a wave. Outside the realm ceiling formation, the giant palace slowly stopped. The thousands of cultivators in black coldly stared ahead. Under the order of the Sovereign Council, this old man came to oversee the battle. An ancient voice came from the Black Palace. This voice released a pressure that immediately suppressed the voices of the 90,000 cultivators. Now this old man will open the realm ceiling formation, and this war will begin. As the voice came out, there seemed to be a sigh. Shortly after, a ray of light flashed out from the Black Palace. This was a sword made of crystal light. The sword was 7 feet long and 3 inches wide, and its blade was crystal clear. At a glance, it was dazzling and contained endless Joss flames. It caused the space around it to distort. One could clearly see many Joss flame realms inside this distortion, with countless Joss flame souls living inside. They sat there and offered their Joss flames. In the ancient star system, there was a world that shouldn't exist within a spatial rift that had been created. This place was filled with celestial spiritual energy. There was a celestial mountain here, and the mountain's peak was hidden among the clouds. There was a woman standing on this peak. This woman looked middle-aged. She wasn't an absolute beauty, but gave off an air of grace and elegance. She was wearing a palace dress and there was a bright red oval blood mark between her eyebrows. Looking at the sky, there was a flash of coldness in her eyes. She raised her jade-like hand and pointed at the sky, causing a jade scepter to appear. There were flowers on the scepter. These flowers were originally dead, but when the woman pointed at them, they seemed to gain life and began to bloom. When the flowers bloomed, 9 petals fell off, forming a vortex that disappeared without a trace. "Since you haven't decided, I'll give you hand," the woman whispered as she removed a golden hairpin with her left hand and threw it forward. Waves of zither music were coming from the top of Mount Blue in the Blue Silk clan. Although this music was beautiful, it was very strange. Sometimes it was as if it was ready to ambush and kill, but at other times it was gentle. These two extremes fused together to form a very complicated emotion. Tao Master Blue Dream closed his eyes as his hands moved over the zither. He seemed to be hesitating, as if he was making a choice. Li Qianmai was calmly sitting opposite of her father. She was silently looking at her father and hadn't said a word. Just at this moment, ripples echoed above Mount Blue and there was a flash of golden light. It was a hairpin a woman would place on her hair. The hairpin broke through void and headed straight for Mount Blue. It penetrated the roof of the house and mercilessly stabbed into the ground between Li Qianmai and Tao Master Blue Dream. The zither music suddenly stopped. One of the strings suddenly broke and flew up high into the air. Tao Master Blue Dream opened his eyes and looked at the hairpin before him. There was a painful struggle in his eyes. After a long time, he let out a sigh and waved his right hand. The broken string broke off from the zither and was surrounded by a blue light. Daoist Master Blue Dream bit his tongue and spat out some blood. The blood fused with the string and flew off into the distance. Outside the realm ceiling formation, the world beside the Black Palace rumbled. 9 petals appeared next to the crystal sword, forming a monstrous storm. At the same time, blue light flashed violently and a broken string appeared. This string contained Tao Master Blue Dream's blood, his cultivation, and was connected to his mind, so it contained powerful Joss flames. In the extreme western part of the ancient star system, the world here was slightly white. Any cultivator who came here would feel coldness in their mind. Even if they activated their cultivation, they would be frozen. In the distance, there were 9 cultivation planets. From a distance, they looked like 9 large pieces of ice, or to be more accurate, 1 piece. A giant piece of ice and 9 frozen cultivation planets. There was a child about 7 or 8 years old sealed inside this vast ice. At this moment, this boy filled with death energy opened his eyes. His eyes were extremely strange, there were 3 pupils inside each eye. 3-pupil cultivator. The moment he opened his eyes, thunderous rumbles echoed across the ice around the 9 planets. Then a giant, phantom eye appeared inside this ice. This eye was the same as the boy's, it also had 3 pupils. At this moment, the 3 pupils flew out into the stars. In the ancient star system, there was another spatial rift filled with celestial spiritual energy. There was a continent floating there. This continent gave off an ancient aura, and no one knew where it came from. There was a woman sitting on the continent. She was wearing a red dress and even her hair was red. She looked very bright. Although she was sitting there, her red dress wasn't loose but very close-fitting. Looking from behind, she had an amazing waist. Combined with her hips and the curves of her upper body, it was enough to cause any cultivator's heart to pound. Her face was very beautiful and very white. Her eyelashes trembled and she slowly opened her eyes. There was a hint of natural sadness in them, and she slowly raised her jade-like hand to bite it. This image was enough to make anyone go crazy. There seemed to be a sigh and then she broke her finger. She waved her hand and 3 drops of blood flew out, turning into 3 large, hideous ghosts. These ghosts looked terrifying, and they let out roars that echoed across the sky as they flew into the air. A moment later, the 3 ghosts bowed at the woman in red and then disappeared. Outside the realm ceiling formation, there was a flash of ghostly light beside the crystal sword, string, and 9 petals. And Phantom Eye suddenly appeared here. This eye had 3 pupils, making for a shocking sight. Just as the eye with 3 pupils appeared, a roar echoed. The 3 giant ghosts tore open space itself and appeared. The various treasures formed by the powerful cultivators of the outer realm gathered. In the ancient star system, in that floating palace that belonged to the sovereign, the person in the black robe that was forced back again by that roar looked up. He raised his withered hand and fiercely reached forward. Fishing for the moon in the well, the man in black said with a hoarse and weak voice that echoed inside the palace. The realm ceiling formation began to tremble before the 90,000 cultivators and became blurry. It was as if there was a powerful force that wanted to extract the soul of the realm ceiling formation. As the formation trembled, there were flashes of light, and various formation spirits appeared. And those blood treasures gave off a shocking aura. It was the trembling from the realm ceiling formation that attracted Wang Lin's attention. His pupils shrank and he looked over. There was such a thing as coincidence in this world. If there was no realm ceiling formation, those 90,000 cultivators would have clearly seen the white-haired Wang Lin looking at them from the other side of the formation. The location of the first battle against the inner realm was the Cloud Sea star system. The location they were going to break through was exactly where Wang Lin was passing by. The trembling of the realm ceiling formation transferred into the inner realm. Wang Lin clearly saw the net that was the formation became chaotic, as if a power was trying to pierce through. Seeing this, Wang Lin's expression changed greatly. At this moment, the inner realm wasn't ready for battle, and the 7 colored realms had not been found. But the war was here. Wang Lin could immediately tell that the strange change to the formation was the outer realm using various methods to tear open the formation. The realm ceiling formation was a double-edged sword. It sealed the Joss flames from the inner realm so that the inner realm cultivators couldn't compare with the cultivators of the outer realm at all. It was equal to cutting off their roots. However, it directly created a protective role. It was very difficult to enter or exit. Just at this moment, the realm ceiling formation trembled violently as if the formation spirits were about to be extracted. This was even more clear from the outer realm. However, Wang Lin didn't have time to waste. There was no need for him to notify the others, as the other third-step cultivators must have noticed this. However, he was the closest person here, and while he couldn't stop them from breaking the formation, he had to prepare for the worst. There was a flash of killing intent in his eyes. The killing intent he showed when he killed Daoist water had dissipated a bit, but it surged once more here. His slaughter essence increased rapidly. Kill. Kill anyone who invades. This was a war, and there was no morality in this war. He could leave right now, but he couldn't. This was an invasion, the invasion of his homeland. For his home, for his homeland, for the glory of the cultivators of the inner realm. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot. He had killed throughout his life for himself, and only outside the God sect did he finally feel the glory of being an inner realm cultivator. This war would last for an unknown amount of time. Perhaps he would die, perhaps he would lose the chance to revive Wano, but right now he wasn't fighting for himself but for his home. For the sake of the greater good, he had to fight. This was why Master Hongshan had asked him if he was ready to battle to the death. This was war. Wang Lin was prepared to die in battle. Although this was sudden, he was from the inner realm. Even though the inner realm was filled with danger and schemes against him, he was still a cultivator of the inner realm. In his own home, it was survival of the fittest, But what did it all count as when facing an invasion? This was for the greater good. The fire of war was already at the door, and if he still thought only of his own gains and losses in this matter, then he didn't deserve to be called a person. To be called a cultivator. His slaughter essence increased like crazy as various moods flashed through Wang Lin's mind. Just killing wasn't enough, that wasn't slaughter but mere butchering. Real slaughter was killing with a reason. To resist like crazy for a certain ideal, or for people and things you want to protect. This kind of slaughter was the source of this essence. It was not for one's own lust, to rob others, or to kill for the sake of killing. At this moment, Wang Lin gained enlightenment. He waved his right hand and 10 million rays of sword energy appeared and flew toward the formation. Esteemed Ling Dong and Zhu Jin also appeared. It didn't matter if they were willing or not, they had to listen to Wang Lin. Even if they died, their souls had to listen to this order. After the two appeared, Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal and pointed above. Countless restrictions flew out and began to seal the area. At the same time, Wang Lin waved his hand and the blood sword appeared with a monstrous blood light. Under this blood light, Wang Lin waved his arm and his body was surrounded by a white light. He absorbed all the light from the light and shadow shield. The nine-colored fire in his left eye formed a storm that was ready to erupt. The thunder tattoo in his right eye started rotating rapidly and thunderous rumbles echoed. Fight, fight, fight! Since he had encountered them, he would battle the 100,000 invading cultivators from the outer realm. Wang Lin stood there like a battle god. His flowing, white hair and his fluttering, white robe made his figure look infinitely large. A sense of glory slowly spread from his body, the glory of being an inner realm cultivator. The realm sealing formation seemed to turn into a giant well in the eyes of the outer realm cultivators. A force was coming from the ancient star system, and it wanted to fish out the souls inside this well. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, the formation trembled violently and the formation spirits all appeared, ready to launch a counter-attack. However, at this moment, an ancient voice came from the giant, Black Palace. Break the formation. After this voice appeared, the world trembled. The crystal sword shot out with a shocking howl and the surrounding treasures all charged out with it. It wasn't just one person trying to break this formation, but the full force of 6 people. 2 celestial imperial concubines, 3 third-step powerhouses, and the sovereign. The moment formation soul was about to be pulled out by the sovereign and the formation spirits appeared to attack, these 5 treasures rushed in. They launched a frenzied attack on the formation spirits. Lightning like silvers appeared all over the formation, turning the entire formation into a lightning formation. The endless silver snakes gathered to form a lance filled with endless lightning power that shot toward the crystal sword. The resulting thunderous rumbles were heaven-shaking. When the crystal sword collided with the lance, endless Joss flame power rushed out to resist the lance. As the sword and lance fought, there was a flash of purple. The monstrous, purple light filled the stars. Both the inner and outer realms could clearly see it. Within this purple light, a giant whip formed. When it lashed out, popping sounds echoed and it shot toward down Master Blue Dream's zither string. The two closed in and began to collide violently. After the purple light, there was a red light that spread out like fresh blood. Waves of miserable roars filled with indescribable pain spread out as well. A 9-headed meteor hammer suddenly appeared. As the 9 heads shook, the hammer seemed like it was going to shatter space itself, and it shot toward the 9 pedals. Just as the red light appeared, a monstrous heat wave washed over the formation. A large chariot formed and an extremely hot aura spread out. This was a giant catapult. The moment it appeared, it gave off an earth-shattering aura. There was a monstrous flame on its arm that was hot enough to burn anything, and it suddenly launched it forward. It shot toward the 3 pupil-eye made of ice. Behind the chariot, there was a flash of darkness that seemed to devour all light. A giant staff silently appeared. This staff was covered in thorns and was stained with large amount of black blood. It gave off a fierce aura and shot toward the 3 ghosts formed by the Imperial Celestial Concubine's 3 drops of blood essence. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The entire realm sealing formation rumbled violently. Wang Lin's pupils shrank, but his expression was fierce. The war had begun. The realm-sealing formation trembled as the formation spirits appeared one by one, and soon the rest all appeared. However, just as they appeared, the mysterious power coming from the ancient star system formed a hand and pulled up. The realm-sealing formation trembled, and the soul that was born in the formation over tens of thousands of years was pulled out. This soul was invisible, but the cultivators outside could feel its ancient aura. The soul was extremely large. As it was pulled out, it seemed like this mysterious power couldn't withstand it. It only lifted it a few feet before it weakened. A sigh echoed across the ancient star system. The mysterious force suddenly tore to the side. A thunderous rumble echoed and a gap was ripped open in the soul. The moment this gap appeared, a crack appeared on the realm-sealing formation. The appearance of this crack seemed to cause the realm-sealing formation to stop. The moment it stopped, an ancient and hoarse voice echoed across the stars. "This old man has done his best." After he spoke, the 5 treasures fighting the 5 formation spirits trembled at the same time. In the spatial crack filled with celestial spiritual energy in the ancient star system, there was a flash of coldness in the middle-aged woman's eyes as she stood on top of the mountain. Her hands formed a seal and she softly said, "Explode." In the Blue Silk clan, on top of Mount Blue, Down Master Blue Dream looked at the hairpin in a daze. He raised his right hand, formed a seal, and he helplessly said, "Explode." In the extreme west part of the ancient star system, on the 9 frozen planets, the boy raised his right hand and muttered, "Explode." In a spatial crack filled with celestial spiritual energy, a woman in red was sitting on a continent. Her eyes shined and she revealed a smile that wasn't a smile as she softly said, "Explode." Outside the realm-sealing formation, inside the Heaven Punishment Palace, a roar echoed out. "Explode." There were 5 treasures, and each of these treasures alone could cause a catastrophe. At this moment, they all exploded inside the realm-sealing formation. The destructive force entered the crack and began to tear it open, causing both the inner and outer realms to tremble. A large gap was opened in the realm-sealing formation for a brief period of time. The war had begun. This video will end here.